everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, and I make videos here on YouTube on how to start an Amazon FBA business, how to sell on Etsy, and how to sell on Shopify. So if you like those type of videos, keep on watching. In today's video, we are going to talk about the hidden costs of starting an Amazon FBA business. Now, these costs do not include Amazon fees, but they include the other costs that will come along with sourcing your product and getting it to your Amazon FBA warehouse. Hidden cost number one is the cost of samples. Now, when I was getting my product sample, I always heard these YouTube gurus talk about how they paid $30 for a sample because the samples are free. All they had to do was talk about shipping to the US, and that's all you had to pay for. Unfortunately, that could not be further from the truth. Now, if you want to get the run-of-the-mill product that your Amazon supplier may have in stock, sure, it may be $35. But if you want to customize your product, make it unique, and you want to get a sample of your customized product, you are looking around $200 to $500. I would highly recommend getting your product customized and getting a sample of that product because you really need to know what you're sourcing. I have made the mistake of trusting my manufacturer on them telling me that everything's perfect, everything looks good. So I didn't get a sample because I wanted to save that $200. Well, I got the sample back, or actually I got the 500 products that I ordered, and they were not what I was hoping for. Thankfully, they didn't look as bad as I thought they did, and they did sell, but I was not happy about that, and so I have learned my lesson on I always get a sample, and that way you are able to talk to the factory if something comes amiss, and you can say, hey, you know what, this is not like it was on the sample, what's going on? Because I have had that happen where I got a sample of the product and then I got 500 units and they were not like the sample that I had received. So I was able to talk to my factory and they were able to help me resolve the issue. I would definitely recommend getting samples because you really need to know what you're spending your money on, and if the manufacturer is up to par, you just need to know their quality. Hidden cost number two is the cost of barcodes. Now, when I first started on Amazon several years ago, I bought all of my barcodes from speedybarcodes.com. I paid $10, I got 5 barcodes, they worked like a charm. And even up until a few months ago, I'm still using Speedy Barcodes. And that personally has been working for me, but I recently heard that well, let's back up. So the reason why I was using Speedy Barcodes is because Amazon recommends going with GS1 barcodes, and I hope I'm saying that right. But they are very expensive. It's over $200 to get started with a barcode, and then you have to pay an annual fee to keep those barcodes working. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me. But recently I heard that GS1 has been listening to their customers and has made a $30 barcode with no annual fees available. So if you want to go with GS1, then now is the time. I personally have not tried GS1 because I haven't added any more products since I heard about that. But Speedy Barcodes has been working for me. So there you go. One other thing I want to add on that note is that I did have an issue when I was listing a new product and the barcode was not working. What I did was I called up Amazon and they told me, hey, just clear your cookies from your browser, and I was using Chrome, and wouldn't you know it, it worked. So I really don't know what's going on with that, but I haven't had any troubles after that with using a third-party barcode. But if you want to play by the rules, I would definitely go with GS1 barcodes. This third hidden cost I'm going to talk about is shipping your product to the United States. Now, this can be really frustrating for people because you want your product, you see a product cost on Alibaba, and then you talk to the supplier, and of course that product that they were advertising for 50 cents has now jumped up to 90 cents because you didn't order the amount required to get it to 50 cents. But then you also have to add on shipping fees. These can be very expensive depending on which shipping way you choose, whether it via air or via ship. And yeah, so they can be extremely expensive. I know for me, my product's relatively small. I pay around $900 via sea shipping to get it here to the US, and that isn't even for very much of a volume product because my product is relatively flat. And yeah, so shipping is definitely a huge cost when starting your Amazon business. And another frustrating thing that I've had to deal with was my manufacturer quoted me a price, I paid it, only to say, hey, when we shipped it out, it was $300 more. So I owe you $300? Yep, you owe us $300. And, I want to complain, but, they need me more than I need them. And it's really frustrating. So I don't know what to do about that. And if you guys have ever dealt with that, let me know what you did because I don't want to upset them. I don't want them mad at me, but also it's really frustrating that they have upped the price on me and then I have to pay an additional $300 shipping. The fourth hidden cost that you should know about is the cost of logos and graphics for your brand. So when I first started on Amazon, I went on Fiverr and I paid for the cheapest logo possible. I didn't have the extra money to spend, so I paid this guy $10 to design a logo for me. Whew, that was honestly, it was just hysterical. I was really excited. This was back when I did not know much about graphic design. So I was really excited. He got the logo back to me after a day, I believe, and the logo looked absolutely terrible. And I had given him a logo, like an inspirational logo for him to kind of go off of, and it looked awful. So I said, hey, can you please fix this? And I kind of, gave him some directions on what I wanted. And he got back to me the next day, and it looked so terrible. I was cracking up. So anyways, I was not happy with this designer, and I was extremely disappointed. But then I thought about it, and I thought, I guess that's what I get for paying $10. You get what you pay for. Now I know. So once I had that logo disaster, I then went on Etsy and paid for a logo. This lady charged $45 and got me a logo, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved it. It was so cute and it fit my brand perfectly. But then I wanted to start another brand a few months later. So I went back to her, and she couldn't help me with my logo. It looked terrible. Again, it was nothing like what I wanted. So I just said, I give up, and I looked into graphic designing. I took a course on Udemy and Skillshare. They're both kind of the same thing, but yeah, so I took a course. I took a course on Udemy, which is basically just these online courses you can take on your phone. I took a course, and then I learned how to use Adobe Illustrator, and now I design all of my logos, my packaging. I design all of my website graphics. I design my infographics. I design everything. So that is what I did, and Skillshare has some really good classes on Adobe Illustrator, and now I love Skillshare. I used to use Udemy, but I've upgraded to Skillshare because Skillshare, you pay a annual membership and you have access to a whole bunch of classes. And this is not sponsored, by the way. I wish it was. But yeah, I love Skillshare. And that is how I learned how to graphic design all of my products and everything. Cost number 5. Cost number 5 is photography. Now, I personally do my own photography. I started out rocky. I'm okay now. I've taken a lot of Skillshare classes on how to do it. And, it's all about the lighting. So make sure you have good lighting. That's my tip for that. But yes, so if you want to outsource your photography, you can do it on Fiverr. There's multiple other sites you can outsource your photography on. And yeah, so that will be another cost to your business because photos are essential. You have to have good photos or else people won't get a good view of your product and they will most likely not buy your product. So having well-lit photos are key. The 6th hidden cost is advertising your product. Now, this can definitely be one of the most expensive pieces of starting your Amazon business. Once you get to Amazon, your product will be on page 100 or you won't even be able to find it. So you have to use Amazon PPC in order to get it seen and get it sold. Now, PPC can be very expensive, so you want to be sure to budget for that. And then what you want to make sure before you start PPC that your ad is optimized, or else you'll essentially be throwing money out the window, and you do not want that. Because take it from me, I have done that before. I was advertising an ad that looked terrible and I was like, why is nobody clicking? Okay, maybe I should look at my ad. Oh yeah, it doesn't look that good. So definitely optimize your ads and also go through your campaigns, optimize those, make sure they are performing as best as possible. The final cost I'm going to talk about is legal fees. Now, when you first start on Amazon, you don't really need to worry about this because you don't know if your brand is going to take off. You don't want to spend all this money on legal fees if your brand is just going to fail. So once you find out you have a good brand, you'll want to do an LLC or any type of legal entity that would fit for you. I personally have an LLC. And then you'll also want to do a trademark. Now that is very important in Amazon because then you can get brand content, which will definitely attract more buyers to purchase your product when you can make the ad look all pretty with your logo and extra pictures and such. And let it be known that when you do want a trademark, Amazon has a trademark accelerator that you can go through. It is extra. I don't know how much it costs. I've never done it, but I assume it's a couple $100 extra. The trademark itself is around $250, I believe. And so Amazon has a trademark accelerator that they will do everything for you. Now, I personally did the trademark myself. I followed a tutorial on YouTube. And honestly, it was a really good tutorial. And when I sent in the paperwork, I only had to redo a couple things. And then I was well on my way. And it took about 7-8 months and I had a trademark. I then submitted it with Amazon and now I am brand registered on Amazon. So those are all of the hidden costs that I have for you today. Now, I think Amazon is completely 100% worth starting. It's passive income. There's so many people shopping on Amazon. 90% of online shopping is done on Amazon. So you definitely want your business to be on there and you want to get started. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day and I will see you next time.